The Denver Broncos, in typical Denver Bronco fashion, dramatic fashion, a fourth quarter win, 18-15. You know, when you have a game like this, like I have all my notes and all this, but when you keep winning games like this, it makes it like absurd to even like talk about some of the other things that happened. It's just like just talk about the fourth quarter. And so we'll talk about it more, like unpack the whole game. I guess on Monday. But I mean, listen, this was a great win, but a tough win and an ugly win and a bad win. I mean, like like the way how the Broncos have been. It's just a little bit of everything, right? Going up against a backup quarterback. This defense, it was always going to be a tough grind offensively for the Broncos. Some of it I think was self-inflicted, and some of it was kind of like, what have you been waiting for? Like Bo Nix using his legs, which was massive, massive in the fourth quarter. That's why you won. And when you actually give Bo some layups to work with, he hits them 9 out of 10 times. He hits them 9 out of 10 times, and so he had the huge big time throw on I think it was third and long to Bryant. Yeah, third and long pass to Bryant, which was massive, leading into the 2 minute warning. The beautiful pass to Harvey for the touchdown. Like when you can give him open men with some sense of reliability, he's going to hit them. He obviously had the one miss to, I forget who that was, but then he followed that right up for it. Yeah, he missed. Oh, Ingram. Then a perfect pass for the touchdown to Sutton. Right. So it was like it was a little bit of everything. But I love that they went right back to him, asked him to make a nice throw, which he can obviously do. But there's just too many times that Bo Nix is just being asked to throw on the run, and like not like little like 8 yard passes on the run. Like he's letting it rip on the run, and like he can do that, and he's good at it. But it's just like it just seems too much. And then what we often see in these fourth quarters, you're relying on Bo Nix to do less of that, and surprise, surprise, you have a lot more success. So this is another one of those games where you're just like, how do I make sense of this right now? But Bo Nix, 18 for 37, 173 yards, 4.7 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns. The one interception was a good play, half great play by the Texans, part bad play by the Broncos and Bo. Only one sack, which just continues to be wild for Bo, and a 68.9 passer rating, right? They did not run the ball into the second half. The first half, they had like 4 carries or something crazy. They just did not run the ball. But 23 carries for 100 yards. I mean, defensively, there's not a whole lot to talk about, honestly, because C.J. Stroud got knocked out of the game. Right, so for me, there's not a lot of strong takeaways defensively. C.J. Stroud and that offense were moving the ball. Situationally, the Broncos were playing great defense and forcing field goals and forcing stops. But at one point, when there was 9 minutes to go in the third quarter, as the graphic came up, the Texans had 37 plays in Broncos territory, and the Broncos only had 11. And really a chunk of that was without CJ Stroud. So it is something to look at. I don't think necessarily if CJ Stroud's there that this game completely changes, but you have to imagine that I believe CJ Stroud is a lot better of a quarterback than Davis Mills. So, but still another great situational win for the Denver Broncos. It's tough. I don't know what you can expect in a game like this with two elite defenses, and then a backup quarterback. Like I don't know what should be the realistic expectations, especially for a young up and coming team led by a young up and coming quarterback. I don't, on one side you want to be able to see them win a lot more convincingly for sure. And on the other side, you're like, they're finding ways to win. And like, I forget the guy's name who was calling the game. He was just like, listen, if you're going to beat the Chiefs, if you're going to separate yourselves, like you find ways to win these games. And Bo Nix, you make plays in gotta have it moments. And that is what they're doing. And that is what Bo Nix is doing. The key is trying to find out how to make that more reliable in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, right? Like, and do it in the fourth quarter when you're up by 10 now or something. Like, that is the key. But it was great to see RJ Harvey getting so much work there. 5 receptions, 51 yards, 10.2 yards per attempt in the one touchdown. 5 receptions for 5 targets, only had 2 carries for 5 yards. Dobbins was obviously carrying the brunt of that. A lot of tough physical runs. Nothing felt easy. Nothing ever felt easy. And you know what? The Texans offense, to their credit, to Davis Mills' credit, they never gave you anything. They never gave the Broncos really kind of any easy outs, kind of any easy situations. There was a couple almost interceptions, especially by Hufanga. I think a couple times. It was Hufanga, definitely at least one of them. Couldn't come down with it. But I mean, I think if the Texans offense was a little bit sloppier and we're kind of, fumbling or giving you some kind of easy interceptions, I think the score obviously would have broken through a little bit, but they never did that. And this defense, this Texans defense, they're averaging giving up 14 points per game. And before they played the Seahawks, it was 12 points per game. And now this is 18, so it'll probably raise ever so slightly. So this Texans defense is brutal. I mean, it really is. It's a masterpiece, honestly. It really is. So you're not going to be able to expect a beautiful box score, but when you're trying to elevate a team, when you're trying to believe in a team, when you're trying to solidify your team as a true contender, you want to find, especially when you don't have the resume quite yet, things like this will always be a little uncomfortable. The Mahomes, the Allens, the Lamars, the Jalen's, they can get away with it a little bit more because it feels as though they've proven themselves already, right? If Patrick Mahomes won a game like this and he has his box score, it's that's Mahomes. He made the plays. Look at that huge run. Look at that huge throw in the fourth quarter. That's all he needed to do. That's what a winner does. That's what a champion does. But when you're Bo Nix, when you're year 2, and especially this year hasn't been the smoothest of all years, especially, statistically. Again, when you have a game like this, you're always like, how do we find ways to improve? And there may not be. It just may be one of those games, like Mahomes has, like Allen has, like Jalen has, right? Like Lamar has, like every quarterback under the sun have. So it'd be interesting to hear the conversations that they have about this, because at the end of the day, you got to make the plays, and they made them. I just want to be firm on this, You do want to see smoother football, but I'll also be firm on, it's just hard to gauge what can you expect in a game like this. But they're 7-2, top in the NFL. Lots of teams are losing, other teams are winning. This, that's why I'm trying to get through this right now, because I'm recording this right now as the Bills and the Chiefs are playing right now. And I still got to make a Steelers post-game video, so things are crazy. Vikings taking down the Lions, the Packers losing to the Panthers, just the Colts losing to the Steelers, just craziness all around. And that's why it's great that the Broncos won, because they are genuinely finding ways to win. And it's not fluky. Everyone wants to talk about the Giants and this or that. It's not fluky. These are intentional, brutal, tough, close, impressive wins. That is the difference. It's not based off of a wonky blocked field goal, a brutal pick six or something. That's not what it is. It is execution at the highest level, which is why you're find ways to execute earlier on in the game. That's what you want. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Denver Broncos taking down the Houston Texans, being 7-2? The Broncos are 7-2, already proving what Nick Wright had to say wrong. What did he say they were going to be? 5-9 or something? I forget whatever it was. Clearly already wrong, because I already got 2 more wins. So boom. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.